is 911. Do you have an emergency?
I just ran away from home.
Do you know what street you're on?
No. I just ran away from home because I live in a family of 15, okay? Can you hear me? And we have abusing parents. Did you hear that?
Okay, how did they abuse you?
Okay. They hit us, they like to throw us across the room. They pull our hair, they yank out our hair. I have my two little sisters right now are chained up.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 17.
What's your name?
Louise Turpin.
Okay, I'm going to connect you to the sheriff's department so that they can help
What?
you. One moment, don't hang up.
I won't.
What's going on?
Okay. I just ran away from home.
Okay.
And I live in a family of 15.
Okay.
My two little sisters right now are chained up.
They're chained up?
Yes,
Where are they chained up at?
on their bed. Now, Mother didn't chain them up just to be mean. Okay. They're chained up because they stole Mother's food.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sorry if I talk too much. Okay. I've never talked to anybody out there, so I've never been alone with a person, so this is very hard for me to talk. Okay.
How do your parents know you left your house?
No, they're home.
Do you take any medication?
What's medication?
Medication?
Yeah, what's medication?
Do you take pills? Do you take pills?
Oh, I don't think I've ever taken a pill before.
Okay.
Right, I haven't. Our parents are abusing. They abuse us. But the reason I called and the reason I managed to get out here, this is one of the most scariest things I've ever done.
Uh-huh.
I'm terrified. But I called because my two little sisters, they're chained up right now.
Do you have pictures of that?
Yes, I can show you. I actually didn't have it, and then one of my sisters told me I need to get pictures.
You have pictures of your sisters chained up?
Yes, but they're in here. Okay. I don't have proof of everything, but I have proof that my sisters are chained up. So see? Look at that. See, those are the places that make it on that. And see how dirty she is? We're so filthy. We don't take baths. We don't.
How did your sisters get like this?
Okay.
Your parents chained them up?
Yes, because they stole food.
Okay.
But they stole it because they were hungry.
Who took this picture?
I did. I took those pictures.
Okay. You make sure to save these, okay?
Okay, I will.
Don't get rid of those.
I will. I won't.
David and Louise Turpin's 13 children grew up in an environment so controlled and abusive, that when the media discovered what these kids had to endure to survive, they dubbed the Perris, California home, a house of horrors. While that seemingly overused moniker was unfortunately very fitting, as the Turpin children were largely so confined that neighbors rarely saw them outside and noted how pale they were on the rare occasion that they did. Deputies initially believed all the victims were children, but it turned out they ranged in age from 2 to 29, 7 of them were 18 or
and
over.
In this surveillance video, you can see sheriff's deputies arriving at the home of David and Louise Turpin. Just minutes earlier, deputies received a 911 call from a deactivated cell phone, which still works for emergency calls. The caller was the couple's 17-year-old daughter, who had escaped through a window.
And reported that her siblings were being held against their will, and some were chained.
Investigators say the 17-year-old girl was so small and malnourished, she appeared to be 10 years old. She also provided photos of the terrible conditions inside the Turpins' home. A short time later, deputies swarmed the property, and inside they say they come across a horrible smell and eventually find 12 of the couple's other children, ages 2 to 29, some of them chained and padlocked to furniture.
Deputies, when they arrived inside the house, they noticed that the children were malnourished. It was very dirty, and the conditions were horrific.
Roughly 20 minutes after entering the home, surveillance video shows the parents being taken away in handcuffs. Neighbors told NBC4 Louise Turpin was acting strangely during the arrest, and investigators also say she appeared to be confused.
But it seemed that the mother was perplexed as to why we were at that residence.
Witnesses say the children appeared to be extremely thin and pale as they walked to the family van, which was used to transport them to the sheriff's station. You can see one of the kids running into the driveway, possibly grateful to finally be outside the home that investigators say was more like a prison.
But we do need to acknowledge the courage of the young girl who escaped from that residence to bring attention so they could get the help that they so needed.
In 2018, when Jordan Turpin made that ultimate decision to escape her home to get help, the nightmare that her and her siblings had come to an end, or did it? While the state dropped the ball several times, her and her siblings were finally free from one nightmare and thrust into another. On July 19, 2022, 2 separate lawsuits have been filed by 6 of the Turpin siblings against Riverside County and a private foster care agency, alleging the siblings were abused in a foster home after their 2018 rescue. For much more info on this case, type Turpin Family in your favorite search engine.
David and Louise Turpin have just pleaded guilty. It's part of a plea deal with prosecutors. The Turpins are charged with starving, abusing, and holding their 13 children captive in horrible conditions for years. They were arrested last year after one of the older children was able to escape and call police. The Riverside District Attorney said part of the reason for the deal is so the children won't have to testify in court.
I saw my dad change my mom. They almost changed me, but I realized what was happening. I immediately did what I could to not become like that. I'm a fighter, I'm strong, and I'm shooting through life like a rocket.
I love both of my parents so much. Although it may not have been the best way of raising us, I'm glad that they did, because it made me the person I am today. I just want to thank them for teaching me about God and faith. I hope that they never lose their faith. God looks at the heart, and I know He sees theirs.
I am so proud of each and every one of my children. I miss all of my children, and I will be praying for them. I long for the opportunity to have contact with them again. Thank you.
I'm sorry for everything I've done to hurt my children. I love my children so much. I'm blessed to be the mother of each one of them. I only want the best for them. Their happiness is very important to me. They are very smart, amazing individuals. I hope they get all the education they need to make their dreams come true.
Major update to the 13 siblings who were held captive and tortured inside their Perris home for years. Vanessa Espinoza, the former public guardian for the Turpin children, says she will cooperate with Riverside County's investigation into alleged mistreatment that they experienced after their rescue. Espinoza is accused of neglecting her responsibilities to help the 7 adult Turpin children find housing, health care, food support, education, and other benefits to which they were entitled.
In 2018, when Jordan Turpin made that ultimate decision to escape her home to get help, the nightmare that her and her siblings had come to an end, or did it? While the state dropped the ball several times, her and her siblings were finally free from one nightmare and thrust into another. On July 19, 2022, 2 separate lawsuits have been filed by 6 of the Turpin siblings against Riverside County and a private foster care agency, alleging the siblings were abused in a foster home after their 2018 rescue. For much more info on this case, type Turpin Family in your favorite search engine.